Let me tell you straight, the moment Tyler Brooks ripped Emma's shirt wide open in front of the whole gym just like that, her sports bra showing, a hush falling so heavy you could hear sneakers squeak, I swear, that was the day Westfield high changed forever. But you gotta understand, it all started because three varsity football players, thinking they owned the world, decided to corner Emma Hathaway after she turned down their golden boy, Jake Morrison's invitation to prom. Now, nobody at that school expected Emma, the quietest, shyest girl in the senior class, always buried in her sketchbook, to be packing years of black belt martial arts training beneath those baggy sweaters. She looked like you could knock her over with a strong word. Turns out, you'd have a better chance moving a mountain. You ever see a moment that changes a whole community? Yeah, that happened. And what's wild is it kicked off with something as small as a high school prom proposal gone sideways. Now, if you've ever been bullied, or you know that sinking feeling when the popular crowd has you in their sights, you'll get why I have to talk about this. And honestly, if you've got a story like this, speak up. Your voice matters more than you know. But back to Emma. It was a Thursday afternoon, sunlight pouring in through the library windows, and Emma was right in her element, lost in her AP Chem notes, long dark hair falling in front of her face. She always sat tucked in the corner, whispering her answers when called on, head down, invisible if she could manage it. That's when the heavy library doors slammed open and in strolled Jake Morrison, flanked by his usual lieutenants, Tyler and Marcus. You could practically smell the entitlement. Jake's dad ran half the school board, and the boy strutted like it. Emma caught the look in his eye, hunting, and just hoped, for once, she'd be invisible enough. "Found you," Jake boomed, ignoring the librarian's glare, making straight for Emma's table. He spun a chair backward, straddling it like he was the star in some cheesy movie. His grin said he'd already decided the outcome. "Prom's coming up," he announced, and you'd think he was bestowing a royal honor instead of cornering someone like a fox in a henhouse. Emma, to her credit, just blinked slow and answered, "Thanks, but I already have plans." The silence after that could have frozen water. Nobody told Jake Morrison no, not in this town. Jake leaned in, voice dropping, all fake charm gone. "You sure about that?" He talked like he was giving her a warning. Emma gathered her stuff to leave, but Tyler blocked her path. Marcus shifted to cut off her only escape. I mean, you could feel it, the weight in the air. The whole library was watching, heads bent low, but eyes glued to the scene. That's when Sophia Martinez, Emma's best friend and the girls' soccer captain, strode up like a thunderstorm, tall, tough, all business. "Is there a problem?" she asked, her glare hard enough to stop even Jake for a second. He muttered some garbage about just talking, but not before hissing to Emma, "This isn't over." You know those moments when you can feel in your bones that the worst is still coming? That was it. The next day, the fallout started. There was a post on the infamous School Confessions Instagram, Emma's photo defaced, the caption full of poison. "Who does she think she is?" And time for a reality check. By lunch, Emma's reputation was mud, her phone full of nasty messages, her classmates treating her like a leper. Her art portfolio, years of sketches and dreams, was trashed, her scholarship application threatened. Jake wasn't letting it go. "You humiliated me," he said in a deserted music room later, "so I'm going to destroy you." He set a time, 3:45, and the gym gave her the choice: show up and apologize, or lose everything she'd worked for. Maybe you'd think about running to a teacher or the principal. But in places like Westfield, money talks, and Jake's family owned the bullhorn. So Emma went. She changed into PE clothes, tied her hair back, and looked herself in the mirror, finally seeing the fighter she'd hidden so long. When she entered the gym, it was empty except for Jake, Tyler, Marcus, and, surprise, Brad Stevens, the class president, phone ready to record and make sure everyone would see Emma broken. Her artwork was scattered and stomped on, her laptop at risk. Jake circled her like a shark, demanding she kneel, beg forgiveness, admit she was nothing without him. Brad would film it for the whole school to see. But something inside Emma snapped. Years of swallowing her voice, hiding her strength, it all crystallized. "No," she said. The boys laughed, but when Tyler tried to smash her laptop, Emma moved. Fast as lightning, she grabbed his wrist, twisted, and sent him sprawling. Marcus charged, and she sidestepped, flipping him into the bleachers with a clean strike. Tyler came again, wild, but she threw him so hard he tore her shirt. She stood there, breathing hard, not covering up, just staring down Jake. "You wanted to humiliate me," she said, loud enough for Brad's phone to catch. "You just set me free." Jake, out of his mind with rage, rushed her. Emma waited, pivoted, and threw a roundhouse kick that landed with a crack you could hear in the parking lot. Jake hit the floor and didn't get up. For a second, nobody moved. Brad's phone fell, clattering. The gym doors burst open. Coach Thompson, Principal Anderson, security, and Sophia. "I called them," Sophia said, shoving a towel around Emma's shoulders. What followed was chaos, but the truth spilled out. Brad, shaking, confessed how Jake planned the whole thing, how he stole Emma's portfolio, how he blackmailed her. Even Marcus started talking, naming other victims Jake had targeted, girls too scared to speak up until now. The police came. Paramedics loaded Jake onto a stretcher. Emma, shaking, gave her statement as evidence was bagged and cataloged. Her torn paintings, ruined essays, everything she'd worked for. But this time, she didn't cry alone. Sophia and the other art students circled her with comfort and solidarity. The news spread, fast and furious. Emma's story, caught on video, went viral. Hashtags popped up: "Justice for Emma, not your victim." Girls at Westfield and beyond started telling their own stories. By Monday, the school held an assembly. Zero tolerance for bullying. A self-defense program with Emma teaching. An art show fundraiser for anti-bullying scholarships. Jake's family tried to pull strings, but video evidence, witness statements, and a dozen more brave victims brought everything to light. Jake was convicted: juvenile detention, probation, forced restitution for Emma's lost portfolio. His father's law firm went under, their mansion was sold, and suddenly privilege couldn't shield them from consequence. Tyler and Marcus did time, tooless, since they cooperated and later tried to make amends. But Emma, she became a symbol. Colleges competed for her. Yale, RISD, art schools nationwide. She rebuilt her portfolio, her new works bold, fierce, unafraid. She led self-defense classes that swelled with students, girls, and boys learning to say no, to stand their ground. Local news, then national media, picked up her story. And everywhere she went, Emma told it straight. You are not powerless, no matter who tries to make you feel that way. 3 years on, Emma stood in a gallery at Yale, her art telling the stories of survivors from all over the world. Sophia, now a pre-law student, fought for victims' rights. Coach Thompson started a statewide anti-bullying program. Even Tyler and Marcus, changed by the experience, worked to help other young men break the cycle. And Jake, he wrote Emma a letter from detention, real remorse, or just another play. Who can say? But Emma kept it unread, focused on lifting others up, not looking back. Her story lit a fire, spreading far beyond one high school gym. She ended up founding a center for survivors, combining art, self-defense, and legal support. Now, whenever a quiet kid stands up, says no, and refuses to be crushed by bullies, whenever a school chooses justice over silence, Emma's legacy lives on. So let's talk about it. What does real strength look like to you? When is it right to fight back? And how do we build schools where respect wins over fear? Drop your thoughts below. Let's keep this conversation burning, because somewhere another Emma is waiting for her moment to stand.